And for WE, we know they do have a lot of mid-game team fighting power. Even Aurelion Sol, I mean, you were talking about this off-air. In the early laning phase, especially level 1, A-Sol, if you do take Electrocute, is quite strong.
Certainly can be a bit of a bully, but it's time for game number 2 as we jump on Summoner's Rift once again. SUNING up against Team WE. And WE, I mean, looking dominant, it has to be said, in game number 1. SUNING unable to contest them, unable to fight for those Rift Heralds early on, and the gold lead just snowballing for WE. This time around, SUNING, I'd expect even less contention when it comes to the early objectives, but they can come into their own once Angel gets a couple of items.
That is fair. We need to see, again, 2 items where you can really start even posturing to contest, and that Threada mark where we know Kassadin, well, Kassadin's going to be level 16, right? But for the Aphelios, that Threada mark where he just becomes a monster who's going to take over this game. If this game does go late, everything is on Jomung's shoulders.
But Jomung has been in that position before. It feels like a lot of the compositions that WE builds are like, look, Jomung, you're the late game. Everyone else, we're going to fight for the mid game, fight for the early game, and get you a gold lead to win with later on.
And we do see Teacher Mao going towards the Electrocute. It was the rune he tended to go more towards last year. We have seen him go towards the Phase Rush in some matchups lately, but I like this rune a lot, especially with your, well, ever since your W got changed to where the stars speed up once you activate it. Yeah. It's just so easy to proc that Electrocute and get that damage down.
And also, just adds lane dominance, right? When you're against the Kassadin, what do you need? Lane dominance. You've got to shut him down before he gets strong. So, I completely agree.
And for the side of WE, this game's going to be like a lot of WE games, right? We expect them to mid-jungle move to a side. Aurelion Sol just wants to not really interact much with laning phase and constantly move, while Jarvan wants to do the same thing. Of course, since Kassadin is so immobile, if Beishang can find a gank, that avenue is always there.
So talk to me a little bit about this A-Sol, though, because it's not really, well, it wants to roam in the same way that, like, the Pantheon does. It's not really the same style of champion, and it does feel a bit more item-reliant.
He's very strange in the fact that in early laning phase, he is very strong. But especially since you do typically go towards the Rod of Ages first, you do go into that a bit of a power trough in early mid-game. And even in team fights, you function much differently to where you kind of are a middle line champion. Not exactly engaging, but kind of peeling with your AD carry.
Beishang has found SOFM on his red buff right now. Smite's available. SOFM gets it in the end, but he's knocked up. Sword Art's here. So is Teacher Mao. Everyone arriving. In come the planets. Missing doesn't have the damage. Beishang exhausted. Can they finish the kill? SOFM gets away with his life and his red buff.
Yeah, so the fact that SOFM can still keep the red buff and WE were the ones who dedicated so many resources, I'd say is a pretty nice win for the side of SUNING.
Really nicely done, and it means that in the meantime, Angel gets to just quietly farm away in that mid lane. Teacher Mao using his heal there as well.
So small win on the side of SUNING, and now both teams just going to trade Scuttle Crabs, of course. SUNING strong on the top side. We already know Bin's going to be a monster in this lane. And Jomung and Missing going to have pressure with the fact that they do have that engage potential on the Bard from the Thresh.
They've always got that potential to make the play happen. We can see a little replay. Nice. Oh, no. Oh, that is heartbreaking for Missing. Goes for the flash hook, but the little stone bro in the way denies everything.
I want to see if Beishang looks for a gank mid here, because we do see the wave looks like it's pushing back to Teacher Mao.
I might try and make a dive happen onto Morgan here. There is a minion wave as SOFM finishes these Krugs off. But after that minion wave is cleared out, I could maybe try and make something happen. Might be a bit risky against Aatrox, though. Oh, he's going to go in. Damage onto Morgan here. Corrupting Chains as well, but Morgan just straight up losing that trade. I'm surprised Bin didn't try and finish off the kill there.
Yeah, he had no more cooldowns, but he was just respecting...
Just an auto.
But still, he was respecting the fact that Beishang would be there from the fact that Morgan went for such an aggressive trade. Because you even look at Vision topside, he doesn't have any wards.
So it's mind games, I see. Well, fair play to Bin playing around the potential of a jungler. I don't believe in the minimap personally, so I try and avoid such high-level play.
I'm sorry.
That was a joke lyric.
I'm trying to... I'm sorry, Munchos. I'm looking at the minimap trying to see if he was actually showing on a ward, but, you know, your jokes are pretty good.
Was that pity? Thank you so much.
Kind of.
Well, I like my jokes, and I'm, you know, whatever. Moving on. They're going to go towards the dragon here. Beisheng started this one off in favor of WE. Last time around, we saw them forfeit both of the early dragons. They were focusing much more on the Rift Heralds. This time, though, they're the ones in control.
Look, Lunchables, I'm going to be frank with you.
Do it.
SUNING aren't going to
I thought you were Jordan, not Frank.
I'm sorry. You know, right now I'm frank. So I'm going to be frank with you. For the next, 10 minutes, I don't expect SUNING to do absolutely anything.
Based on that last games, for the next 40 minutes, I don't expect SUNING to do anything.
Hey, but once we do hit that 40-minute mark.
That's when Angel will finally hit level 16. Do some damage. He's going in, and Teacherma takes the tower shot there, actually. That's not a trade. Angel's doing a great job of staying even in CS. As Morgan is feeling the pressure. Dominus from Bin. He's a whole level up, and Morgan's in trouble. Still has flash available. Morgan gets a knock up and keeps himself safe. I really feel like Bin could be just a little bit more aggressive.
I honestly feel like Bin just keeps walking forward with auto attacks.
Jomon gets the Lantern out to safety. Stun onto both of them. The power of the Bard pick, but the damage just isn't there. Jomon gets away, but the death sentence doesn't land.
But yeah, I agree with you on the Bin point. Just keep walking forward with auto attacks, force the flash out of Morgan by holding the threat of the Q, and then, again, you want a summoner spell. That's all you really need. If you can then flash in and get the kill, it's an even better win.
Yeah, I genuinely think that even if you can't get a kill, you could have took a couple of turret shots. Morgan's not going to be able to kill you underneath the tower right there. He was full HP with Dominus procced.
And I mean, his build.
We're being pretty aggressive towards Bin here. He is still almost double the CS of Morgan, so he's still doing pretty great.
True, we shouldn't criticize Bin so harshly, but look at his build. He's going for like a win more style. He just stacked up a bunch of longswords in that lane. Finally does get that executioner calling, so it's going to come out even more ahead in these trades against Morgan.
And honestly, he needs to be winning that lane as well, because you'd expect Teacherma to start to really bully in that mid lane. But Angel's actually doing a really good job to stay relatively even.
One thing I want to see now that we've seen Angel blow the TP in mid is we've seen Teacherma constantly push him into turret. So I want to see Teacherma and Beisheng link up and gank Bin when he's looking for those aggressive plays, because Angel can't follow now with TP.
And we all know that Morgan needs the help. Morgan's had to use that TP to get back into lane. Customarily, he likes to save that. He likes to go for a fight around Dragon, use the TP to make that happen. But his team got the Dragon. They didn't need to use any kind of teleport plays.
No, but right now, SUNING going to put down a bit of control on the map. We just saw Angel get a ward and sort of clearing out the blasting plant. Ooh, just nice dodge.
Nice dodge there, and the stun could come on through Jomon. Pretty low, but there's an ignite onto Huanfeng. He's going to be able to dish out damage onto Missing, though, and now he turns around. The shurikens are terrifying. They are going to fall off now. We'll have the lifesteal, though, from the Severum. And ultimately, once the cooldowns are gone, the summoners are gone on the side of WE. This 2v2 is looking good for SUNING.
Yeah, I think SUNING played it really well because we saw how that 2v2 goes. If Jomon was able to hit his abilities, WE would have won out, but great sidestepping coming out from SUNING.
Angel will jump away with his Rift Walk there. Teacherma just shoving things out in the mid lane. In the meantime, Bin and SOFM trying to finish off this Herald. Beisheng's coming in. Morgan's here already. And this is actually going to be a 3v3 right here. Angel getting onto Teacherma. They've jumped onto the Herald. They're committing to this one. Oh no, it was SUNING that got the smite.
SOFM.
But WAE, they can gatekeep this one. They can stop the Herald going over. So it's a 0 points across the board.
Yeah, pretty much nothing happens, but you look at the bottom lane turret, Huanfeng is actually getting plates, and it looks like Jomong's losing CS. I mean, he's definitely losing CS if Huanfeng's getting plates.
He's definitely losing some CS here. This might be a third plate to Huanfeng as well if he just finish off this wave and get one auto in.
Which he does have the Calibrum, so should be quite easy.
In the meantime, they're going to be taking plates in the top side as well. Morgan holding onto the minion wave. Well played by him. Now he's going to get dived. Can he survive? Flash finally comes on through. Bin's tanking the tower, and he's low. Here comes Beisheng, and it's turned around. First blood WE.
Great confidence play coming out from Morgan. Still, SUNING not able to execute on the dive is a bit unfortunate, but still, the pace of this game still feels pretty good for SUNING.
I could like hear Morgan's thoughts while he's holding the minion wave. He's like, please Space Shug, please Space Shug, please Space Shug. Why don't you have Moby Boots? I need you here right now. Look at him.
Yep, so he holds it. We do see that Beishang is holding up. Renekton goes in, but SOFM actually tanking the turret the whole time, so not able to do anything, not able to lay down a Q or an auto. I feel like they could have been a bit more patient.
Yeah. I mean, they obviously knew that Beishang was on the way. Maybe
Yes.
just felt like they had to rush this one down. It's not going to pay off, though. And nicely done by Morgan to understand the situation and play so beautifully around it.
And he does have Ninja Tabai and Kindle Gem already, so going to be a bit more safe in that
Also,
top lane.
Considering there's not really been that much action on either side of the board, Beishang has a 20 CS lead over SOFM in the jungle. That's kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, Beishang doing it's a good job, right? But we do want to see them be more proactive on the map. We already set up that play that they could have made on top side earlier on, trying to abuse Bin. We're obviously not going to see that now because now it is all about this dragon, but WE trying to buy some more time because Morgan's TP still isn't up.
I love watching Teachama on this ASOL. I love just like trying to figure out how exactly the champion works, because it's so rare that you get to see ASOL play and the way that he CS's, the way he positions, and the way he trades. Because he is honestly one of the ASOL masters, because there are so few people that play it. Here we go, nice pillar onto Beishang. Stun isn't quite going to land though. Means that everyone backs away. Morgan now feeling a bit more confident in this 1v1. Really great trade onto Bin, but now it's Bin's turn. Cooldowns ticking away here. Bin trades a lot of damage back on in. That was his Dominus used though. Teachman chasing them away. Cloud Drake on the map. And it's WE in position right now. Both AD carries still in the bottom lane.
If SUNING want to go for a fight, again, it's all on Sword Art finding a great Tempered Fate.
Morgan just going to be once again trying to clear away these waves away from the turret so that there's no shenanigans available here. SOFM, Cataclysm keeps him in. Still has his flash available. He wants to try and get the dragon, but it's not going to happen. Beishang still alive, but in comes Kassadin. Angel wants to pick up kills. Nice flash from Beishang, keeps him safe. Now Huanfeng is left on his own. Sword Art couldn't get to him, and WE get the dragon and a double.
WE forcing the objective. Their composition is much stronger right now, and they come out ahead in the fight.
Really nicely done there from WE. They're going to get themselves a minuscule gold lead, but importantly, 2 Drakes back-to-back, and once again, the Infernal Soul will come through.
Exactly. That's probably the most important part, and we've been seeing that so much these past few days where in spring, again, it was still very new, so teams weren't really hard playing around dragons as much as it seems like they are these past 2 days.
Yeah, even MSC as well. Dragon's basically taken on cooldown.
So we see Beishang go in on SOFM, but the Tempered Fate comes out so late. SOFM's already pretty much dead, and then it's a numbers advantage for WE, and they just end up finding the kill on Huanfeng, who's left by himself.
Yeah, I mean, Huanfeng, fair play to him to go in, try and support the jungler, but I don't think that was a winnable fight at that point.
Like we said, where was Sword Art? Where was the ultimate? If the call was to fight, we need to see a really clutch, again, 2-3-man Tempered Fate to start that off.
Yeah, try and deny everything that WE wants to do during that fight, but wasn't able to do it.
I'm so happy, Munchables, because we're
Nice.
finally
I'm glad for you.
getting... Thanks, man. We're finally getting a Blade of the Rune King Renekton in LPL.
Uh-oh, Morgan is in a whole lot of trouble, and it's from that Blade of the Rune King Renekton, but here comes the rest of the squad. Suning are here. Beishang, I don't think you should have gone in on this one, because you are well and truly outnumbered. And it's all down to the Blade of the Rune King. Double kill for Bin. There's the Tempered Fate you were asking for. And Teachama gets stunned up. Voicelite is going to do all but nothing. Teachama will fall, and it's a kill for Angel.
They weren't only outnumbered, like you just said, but they're also playing around Suning's strong side of the map, which is that Renekton. He is winning 30 CS, and again, we don't see Blade of the Rune King Renekton too often here in LPL. It is much better in these isolated duels. Does also give Renekton a bit of a scaling option too, because you do get that, HP damage coming out.
Also, it helps you with split pushing, right?
Yep.
If you want to go for towers, getting the extra attack speed and extra AD, really, really helpful. Also, on your W, you get 3 procs of the Blade of the Rune King, 3 procs of the percent damage, which is always nice.
Munchables, the Blade of the Rune King expert here in the LPL.
I played a lot of AD carry.
Still, WE able to get the bottom lane turret, so gold still relatively close, about 1.5k in Suning's favor.
Look at that Asol CSing. I don't know why I find it so exciting to watch, but he got all of them.
I don't know why you find it so exciting either, but we do see pings going down for the Herald at this point. If SUNING still opt into keeping Bin on the top side of the map, they should have pressure for that.
I have just noticed, despite me crediting Teacherman with Asol CSing, he's actually 30-odd, almost 40-odd CS down currently, so maybe shouldn't be complimenting him on that right now, because it's actually not been going that well.
We did see that one, I think it was when they started Dragon, and where Angel was just farming mid for free and Teacherman was hovering around the Dragon, so we have seen some instances like that.
Morgan is not having a fun time. This game flashes away. Keeps himself safe at least, but in the meantime, that Herald is going to go the way of SUNING. And there's not really much of an answer from WE. Jomung will be able to jump away to safety on the Lantern. Just trying to do whatever damage he can. In fact, it doesn't even need the Lantern. Just bullies them both out of the lane. But the question will be, where does SUNING go with this Herald to continue to accelerate a bit of a lead that they've found for themselves?
If SUNING can open up mid, that's always great. But actually with the composition they have, since they do have a lot of side lane threat coming out from both Bin with the Blade of the Rune King and Angel on the Kassadin, even just going and dropping that down in bot, the turret's already quite low, so maybe you wouldn't go there. But opening up longer side lanes will be benefit for SUNING.
Certainly will, especially with this Renekton, with this Kassadin. But you got to look towards the AD carries as well, and the points at which these guys are going to come online. Because Jomung, when he hits, he's already hit that 2-item power spike already. When that Muramana does finish stacking up, and when he gets a death stance, he becomes massive. Morgan is in trouble once again. Flash from Bin, but he still gets knocked up. And now he's stuck inside a Cataclysm. The whole squad is here. Bin's outnumbered and taken down.
And this was just Bin being over-aggressive. We've actually seen both top laners make some mistakes.
This is what you called for. This is exactly what you asked him to do. Punish Bin when he gets aggressive.
That's true. So WE making the right play. I was going to say, we just need to see SUNING answering around the map, but SUNING are doing that. So, great job, SUNING.
Nice. Well, you say that. Bin did go down, and right now they're going to lose themselves an Infernal Drake. So WE feeling pretty good on the back of this trade. Where's SOFM at? Oh, he's in the mid lane. He's just going to drop Herald and move away.
And the game dynamic is much different this time around, to where we said last game, hey, even if they do get an Infernal Soul, you look across the map, I think it was WE that time, we're like, WE is still so tanky, can you burst them down? Well, if WE can get an Infernal Soul, I don't know how much it'll matter that SUNING do outscale them. It'll probably still matter because it's an Aphelios and a Kassadin, but you will have the damage to burst these members down before they even know what hit them.
Yeah, and it certainly helps Morgan as well when it comes to this 1v1 between Renekton and Aatrox. Certainly, an Infernal Soul skews that a little bit more in favor of WE.
Well, I want to go back and touch on something you talked about with Jomung and, his build, and he is going to hit that Death Stance, but one of the great things about this build, once you go Death Stance and Iceborne Gauntlet, is, that level of protection and how you can just kite out the enemy team, but he's going to have a really hard time kiting out the Kassadin no matter what, so it doesn't really matter the specifics of this new build, because if Angel can get in his face, Jomung should just be dead.
That's one of the big benefits, though, of this Shirelius that you see come out from Missing. He's got the Lantern, he's got movement speed to give his AD carry. So much of that interaction is going to be about Missing rather than Joel.
Yep, yes it is. So, kind of key. We're going to have to keep our eyes on Angel and Bin on the side of SUNING. And again, as the game goes on, it's going to be all about Jomung and Missing for the side of WE.
So now, everyone grouping up once again. Baron up in a minute. I don't really feel like either team is a particularly great Baron taking team. Worth mentioning, Jomung has finished his Muramana though, so he's actually going to hit pretty hard now.
I do want to say, though, any team is a great Baron-taking team if it has Aphelios, so I completely disagree.
Yeah. But, I mean, I guess in a grouped scenario.
Whoa. You are a group. You have numerous guns. They kind of take the place of each of your teammates.
A group of moon-based worshippers that are just praying that Aphelios does enough on his own.
They
just
need to be the bodies that absorb the Baron damage as they spam taunt or laugh or something. That's enough.
Angel there to zone him away. I can believe it. But on the other side of the board, generally speaking, WE are pretty good when it comes to awareness of these objectives. Objectives are the bread and butter for WE, right? This is how they play the game. So the odds of you sneaking a Baron away against WE seems pretty low.
That is true. And we're at the point where SUNING's comp is kind of turned into this 1-3-1 setup, so going to be all about...
Ooh, Missing's found a pick onto Angel here. Jump forward from Jomung. You said it was Angel that would be chasing Jomung. It's the other way around right now.
It definitely is, and man, that was just a great hook coming out from Missing.
Oh, it's not enough damage. Well, it was a good... I got excited. It was a good shot. Doesn't do anywhere near enough.
He wasn't even standing on a ward either, so just great prediction coming out from WE support.
Really nice stuff coming out from Missing. Reading Angel like a book. SOFM is here. He's going to be pulled on and getting onto Missing, but that's not really the ideal target. SOFM's going to fall in just one more auto. Angel is onto the backline, just doesn't do enough damage though. Jomung survives. Huanfeng ult, not going to do enough damage. Bin is there though, and he's tearing through the health bars. The Renekton is just too much for WE.
Yeah, so great job. Angel coming in on the flank, putting a bit of pressure on Jomung, but like you said, he's just not tanky enough, but still, Bin creating so much space for Huanfeng to deal damage. Even Bin, such a big damage maker in his own right now.
And honestly, that fight was lost until Bin managed to get into the middle of everyone. It felt like Angel went in, didn't really have enough, but Bin just showcasing the power of mid-game Renekton.
And let's remember, we said this game would be all about the Ophelia straight-up power spike. He's only on 1.5 items. SOFM gets caught here, but Angel was already channeling his TP. He does jump in, and there's been kind of getting damage done onto Beishong. He's going to go in now, which is going to give Huanfeng a lot of room to deal this damage that we see right here. Already got a really good ultimate off, and just kind of great combo coming out of both of them. Also sort of supporting from the backside as well.
Really, really nice stuff. And that was the kind of execution we wanted to see from SUNING in game number 1. It feels like they're actually playing a bit more as a group here and being willing to contest what WE wants to do.
And maybe SUNING just aren't going to be this type of team, right, that's going to be able to put this kind of heavy pressure in the first 5-6 minutes of the game. So drafting more of these compositions that don't rely on doing that, much more in their wheelhouse.
Well, important to mention, they've got another team fight coming up, and they've got to win this one, because in 15 seconds, this Infernal Drake will spawn, and that is not something that they can give away.
No, and we do still have Flash up for Huanfeng, so it will be really key for him to reposition.
Oh, Angel's been found right before the Drake spawns. 2 seconds on that one. True Shot Barrage hits him. Teachama trying to chase down the Kassadin, but he is a Kassadin, so he's just going to dance around the map. In the meantime, Bin has started the Drake. WE might have just sacrificed their soul to try and get a Kassadin right there. It's not going to pay off for them. Onto Huanfeng. Tempered Fate, though, stops everything in its tracks. Morgan getting onto the backline, but it's Beishong that's in trouble right now. He's low already. Huanfeng has to flash away. Teachama chasing him down, but he survives on a modicum of HP. And now Swordart jumps himself to safety. WE don't even win out the fight. It's a 1-for-1.
Yeah, that's... I honestly feel like SUNING should have committed to that Dragon earlier and just give up mid-wave. They were a bit late, but still, they're able to get the Dragon, which is the most key factor. And
twice in 2 games. Oh no, it was Swordart the last time, actually.
Really clutch Tempered Fate coming out from Swordart to buy more time, give the members of SUNING ability to reposition. And we just talked about that flash from Huanfeng, really saving his life, along with the Severum, of course. And again, they bought themselves 4 more minutes.
I would love to see a replay of exactly how much health he actually survived on here, but let's take another look.
Numbers advantage fight. Angel doesn't have TP. Great Tempered Fate coming out from Swordart, stopping Beishong from getting in there. And Huanfeng right in the middle of the team. We see him go low.
As well.
He goes low so quickly, but they don't have enough damage to take him down. It's kind of one of the downsides to the Ace Soul with the stars, right?
There was even a corrupting potion burning on him right there, but the red buff plus, I guess he had a pot ticking or something, because it was real close. Teachama is going to be pulling his hair out off the back of that one. Look at the gold difference, though, still very much in favor of Jomung. And Jomung has been the benefactor of a lot of kills so far this game.
Oh yeah, of course, WE have been creating a lot of action around the map, and Jomung's been the one picking them up, so he is a bit further ahead in his build, but again, of course, his build is more defensive in nature, does provide a lot of lifesteal.
You've just seen it there. Yep. The Death Dance comes on through. So now suddenly, that is a massive, massive power spike for Jomung. This is the moment where WE can maybe turn a fight in their favor.
But at the same time, Huanfeng is like right on the edge of getting to that 3rd item build himself. Is sitting on some gold after that fight, picking up some waves as well. And Angel now getting quite tanky with the Bramble Vest. And WE's composition isn't really a high damage comp, right? You have an Aurelian Soul, and you have this Ezreal with this new build, so...
Yeah. I mean, the Ezreal build is surprisingly high damage, despite the items that you do go for. But you're absolutely right. It's by no means a crit AD carry, right?
So that Bramble Vest going to come in key, and you're still going to constantly have side lane pressure on the side of SUNING.
Oh, hang on. SOFM's been caught out. This is a bad look, but he gets away with it. And once again, Tempered Fate comes in. Once again, Huanfeng barely can't get a kill. Or Jomung, sorry. I just see the Ezreal and I think of Huanfeng. Sword Art now trying to escape. Gets through the magical journey. WE, they just can't pin anyone down.
Yeah, their only real true hard engage is Beishang, and he'd already used his ultimate on SOFM, so no other reliable way of getting onto someone.
Jomung desperate to deal the damage. Flash out of missing, but he doesn't get the hook. Sword Art gets away with his life. Jomung desperate to try and force an advantage with this power spike, but it's just not happening. Now Angel's coming in for a flank. Lantern available.
No Tempered Fate, no Moonlight Vigil.
They go for the Lantern here. Angel could try and get in onto this AD carry. Jomung's getting pretty low on mana.
I think that was actually a pretty strange call coming up from SUNING if you look at all the key cooldowns that are missing. No flash on Bin, no flash on SOFM, no cooldowns on Huanfeng. You could have just had Angel commit to putting more pressure on that turret. You have 4-man there to protect your mid turret yourselves. There's no other objectives up on the map.
It's kind of hilarious to me that the build that Angel has gone for. As you mentioned before that fight, the Bramble Vest coming on through. He's got Ninja Tabbies as well. This is going to be one of the tankiest Kha'Zix you've ever seen.
Well, A-Soul is not actually a champion that does a lot of damage once he hits that, 3, 4, 5 item mark. You're a lot more about the early game, getting that advantage early on. Again, you have a surprisingly strong laning phase. And then, like you said, I'd say that Rod of Ages and then that Oblivion Orb mark, you're pretty strong, but you're not going to scale up with the likes of a Kassadin, a Syndra, a Zoe.
Certainly not. Teachama is currently lamenting that fact as we speak. But the Drake is spawning in about 40 seconds. Once again, soul point here for WE if they can get that dragon. This time, I'm hoping they won't be chasing Angel halfway across the map and end up losing the salt for it. Oh, knockup actually comes through on Sword Art. Still gets his magical journey though. Angel comes on in. Beishang pulled to safety. No significant cooldowns used though, and it means that WE can now start to muscle in. Bin is in a bit of trouble. Doesn't have his flash, but he dices and slices away. In goes Beishang, but misses the knockup once again. Tempered Fate onto nobody, and that's a big old cooldown. Beishang has a Lantern, and Infernal Drake spawns.
And the problem is you have no other real engage coming out from SUNING.
They're chasing the Kassadin, and again, I don't think that's the way. Bin is the target right now. He still has his flash, but he goes down way quicker than he can do anything about. Morgan jumps into the pit, and now onto the Infernal Drake. SOFM, keep your eyes on this Trundle. He's got to try and get a steal. He's got to try and get a smite. Angel into the back of the pit. Desperate to assassinate, and he'll do exactly that. Beishang's fallen, and this is going to be the Drake going the way of SUNING. Now onto missing. Jumping on in goes Angel. Jomung has to carry the fight. He has to do the damage, but it's 2v4 right now, and SUNING are closing in. The jaws are closing on the heads of WE. Teachama gets a stun. Damage onto SOFM, but there's an exhaust and another kill for Huanfeng.
I actually can't believe it. WE find the pick. They get the 5v4 team fight, but great damage coming out from SUNING. Beishang just letting the team kill him. He still had flash up as well. And then SUNING, they just have so much damage at this point with the Aphelios and the Kassadin, and they just come out ahead.
So, the team fighting for SUNING has just been magnificent this game.
It's so strange, too, because Sorta completely wasted his Tempered Fate. SUNING have no other engage. We see all of WE go onto the Dragon. Just keep your eyes on Beishang here. They're trying to commit to the Dragon, but Teacherma and Jomung in the backline actually not really putting down any damage. We see Beishang go down to Angel, and now WE left in a pretty awkward position where all of SUNING are just able to kill the rest of the members. And like I said, Jomung, not exactly the high damage AD carry like the likes of an Aphelios, right? And we have a lot of tanky members on the side of SUNING.
We really do. And during that replay, Baron has been taken by the side of SUNING. I'm not sure.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Why are you asking me? Look at the top right, Baron.
Munch, I'm caught up in the moment of the fight.
Yeah, Baron got taken while all of that was going on. I didn't expect them to have the time to do that, but hey, they pull it off. They get 2 Infernal Drakes
They killed
themselves.
5 members. Of course they have
did.
the time.
They did. I underestimated them. I'm sorry, Lyric.
I
won't do it again.
I mean, again, after they got picked off the way they did, it is really insane that they won that team fight.
And, I mean, you talked about it, right? During the draft, this Kassadin coming out from Angel is insanely strong. He hasn't lost the game in spring on the Kassadin, and right now, it's looking like that statistic is going to remain true. This will be his 6th game this year, potentially his 6th win.
I'm just saying 2 games in a row, we're seeing superior scaling prevail.
That's very true. And SUNING, they were not that proactive in the early game. Both games. This time, though, they've drafted for exactly that style, and it is paying dividends for them.
Yeah, and actually, it's I feel like Sword Art's Bard has been kind of hit or miss. He has made a lot of important plays.
Oh, Angel. Once again, they try and start the fight on Angel, but he just jumps away. Now the damage comes through to answer. Goodbye, Teachama. The Galaxy not being too kind to him today. Now onto the likes of Bin, who goes in, but he's just so damn tanky. Another few kills go the way of SUNING, and that just might be game right here. In they go, Angel to follow. Triple for him on the Kassadin. He's just padding his stats. He's getting some more multi-kills, and he's looking like a god from the mid lane.
I'm just saying Angel's Kassadin is 6-0, much undefeated this year.
He's 6-0 on the scoreboard right now as well. 6-0-7, and a dominant victory here for SUNING. WE, the team we praised for synergy, falling apart in Game 2.
Yeah, they weren't able to find a lot of these early plays that we hoped for. They did still get